goods and service tax. Now, the CGST is levied by central government. Intra-state supply. Intra is within the state, whatever may be the goods which are being, goods or services or both are being taken into the account, that will be levied under central GST. Now, this is basically, earlier it was an excise duty or a service tax which is being levied on the goods. Now, whether, see, once the goods are manufactured, there is a need to levy a tax. That tax is called as excise duty earlier. Now, what happened is we used to levy excise duty as well as sales tax. Sales tax is a sale which has taken place within the state. That revenue will be for the state, and excise duty will be going to the central government. So excise duty and sales tax, these are the two taxes which are levied according to the commodity or a service. If it is a service, service tax is levied, and if it is a commodity, the excise duty as well as sales tax is levied earlier. The same thing is also now taking place, but what they are doing is, earlier they used to levy at the time of manufacture, and at the time of sale they used to levy another tax. But now at a single point, that is when a commodity is being purchased, at that moment the CGST and SGST are being levied. So CGST will go to the government, central government. SGST, the portion of tax, will go for the state. So both taxes will be levied in intra-state supply. Intra means within the state, whatever the goods which are being purchased or sold or supplied, whatever may be, that is being taken into the account. Now, IGST is, this is interstate supply. Inter means between the two states, or if the goods are imported outside the country, or goods which are being purchased by two states, like let us say Punjab. Punjab is known for paddy or wheat. So if any state would like to get the supply from the Punjab, that means like Tamil Nadu or Andhra Pradesh or Telangana, if they are taking the commodity which have been supplied from the Punjab, they are a sale which has taken place between the two states, that is called as interstate sale, that or supply. That interstate supply comes under IGST. Earlier it is to come under the Central Sales Tax Act. Now it comes under now IGST, Internal Integrated Goods and Service Tax, where you are levying both CGST and SGST. So these are the components of GST which is being adopted under the dual model in India. Not only in India, we also, this type of model, we have it even in Canada and Brazil. Now coming to the benefits of dual model of GST. Now here, see, earlier excise duty, service tax, VAT, customs duty, octroi duty, these are the number of taxes usually they used to levy earlier. A single transaction whenever it is being taken into the account. But now, because GST is being implemented, all those things are reduced. Now only GST is being levied. Whether CGST, SGST, that is a portion which has been shown in the transaction. So only one time only the tax is levied. Earlier, number of times the tax is levied, that is being reduced because of dual model of GST. This is one. The second one is there is a decrease in the effective tax rate. Earlier, now like let us say excise duty is 10%, customs duty is another 5%, the sales tax is another 4%, central sales tax is 2%, like that. So many rates are being taken into the account, and all these rates supposed to be payable on a single transaction, whereas that kind of is not there. We are calculating only one rate, the effective tax rate. So here definitely the all others are being reduced. Next, cascading effect. Earlier, the cascading effect was included because excise duty was charged, the customs duty were charged, then sales tax was charged. So tax on tax was there in earlier transactions, earlier acts. So which is now removed or eliminated because of introduction of GST. The next, even the reduction of transaction cost also has become reduced because we have simplified the compliance of the tax. That's the reason why there is a reduction in transaction cost. And the next is increase the tax collections. Collections have increased because every item was come under the purview of GST. So now people, earlier what happens is so many acts are there. People used to say that we are in that act, we are in this act, but they are not in any of the act. They comes under the purview of the acts, but they would like to take the loopholes of it and they used to take the benefit of it. Now people cannot do that. People, that is the dealers, the suppliers, the distributors, the wholesalers, retailers, whoever maybe was there, all of them, what they used to do is somehow they are taking the loopholes of the act and they are taking that advantage for before not paying of the tax. That was being reduced now. So when that was reduced and they are coming under the jurisdiction of GST, so definitely the taxes were, the collection of taxes were increased. Okay, and there is a better compliance also because people are giving the awareness of what actually the taxes are being paid. The next, coming to the concept of supply. First of all, we need to know what do you mean by a supply. Now, it includes all forms of supply of goods or services or both. Now, under this, first we need to take into the account a sale. Now, a definition of a sale need to be taken care of. Actually, the sale means we used to take under the Act, Sale of Goods Act, which has been studied in your mercantile or commercial law. The Sale of Goods Act, what actually the sale is defined under that, we used to take that into the account in earlier acts. Here also, sale is the same. That means any transaction which is being taken place between the two persons. That means a buyer and a seller supposed to be there. Buyer supposed to buy the commodity, seller supposed to sell. And here it comes under a supply. Here earlier they used to say supplier, distributor, wholesaler, whatever the nomenclature, if you take into the account, it is immaterial, the nomenclature or the person which is dealing with the goods. So here the important is the person has to deal with the goods, person has to supply the goods, and a consideration is money. Money has to, like when you're receiving something, you have to return something. So at that kind of a transaction has to take place. That is called as the sale. Okay. Now, when we take the sale, any transaction can be called as a sale. Like let us say a mortgage, or a pledge, or a charge, or hypothecation. That such kind of transactions also will be taking place. Can we call that as a sale? No, mortgage cannot be called as a sale because mortgage is a form of a security which has been provided on whatever the loan which we are taking into the account. Like let us say we are approaching the bank, we put forth some asset, and based on that, like gold, we will put forth gold taken as a the loan, which is a security purposes. So a building has been given to the bank on a mortgage basis, and we are receiving the amount. So such kind of transactions, you cannot call it as a sale. Even hypothecation. Now, bank, whenever will take a loan to purchase a car, so they'll put a certificate on the car stating hypothecated to SBI, hypothecated to ICICI. That means it is under their control, under their right. Now, it cannot be like once the loan amount or whatever the repayment supposed to be done, all that is to be clear, then only the rights, ownership, everything will be in the person who has purchased. So that's the reason why hypothecation or a mortgage or a pledge or a charge whatever may be the names are different, but all are relating to a right or a security which is being given on a particular asset. So that cannot become under a sale. The next, coming to the transfer. Now, transfer of the goods or the transfer of services. So the transfer, if you take into the account, definitely they say the ownership does not transfer. It is only the right to use the commodity is being transferred. Earlier, probably in your accounts also, have you studied about the hire purchase agreement, hire purchase sale? Hire purchase sale is the one where you are entering into an agreement and purchasing the asset. You are paying a down payment, getting the asset, you are using the asset till the last payment is being made, then only the ownership rights are being transferred. So such kind of transactions, if you are being taking place under the sale or a supply, those transactions comes under the transfer. So here the government under the act has not left any person who doesn't come under the purview of GST. He want all the people, whatever may be the kind of transactions which they are taking place, all those transactions supposed to be added so that all of them come under the purview of GST Act. That's the reason why the word may be different, that the meaning may be different, it may be related to something or the other, but it is a transaction which has been taking place. There is a good or a supply will be supplied from one person to another, that is being added under the concept of supply. The next, barter system. Earlier we used to have, now we may not have, but even then the barter system where exchange of goods for goods, that is being taken into the account, even that is also comes under the concept of supply. Now coming to the license. Now whatever the app which we are using, this is an app. Now Zoom app we are using for taking an online class. So what we are supposed to do, we are taking this kind of a service which is being provided by an organization. See, this a license under the category of license. So whatever the payment which you are supposed to make, we have to make, and they have given a license to use such kind of a software. So this kind of a license is also comes under your supply. So like this, the Google Meet, Google services, the cloud services, whatever the Google services are being provided, IBM services which are being provided, the statistical tools or packages which we are using for research purposes, all that comes under this license. The next is the rental. The rental here means, you know very well, the commercial properties, the people will give on the rental basis. The periodical payment is being given for the person for utilizing the use of the property. So definitely that rents, whatever may be being paid periodically, also comes under the supply. This is relating to only the commercial areas. It's not for the residence purpose. The residential purpose is different, the commercial purpose is different, for offices, for the garages, for any other the shops, etc. The people who are whose main business is to give their building on rental basis, then that comes under the supply. The next, coming to the lease. Now, right to use any asset for an agreed period of time, that comes under the lease. The next, a disposal. Now, like Satyam, when it is been winding up, what it has done, the Satyam has sold or disposed all their assets to the Mahindra Tech. So that's the reason why at that moment, whatever the disposal has been taken place, all that kind of transactions also comes under the concept of supply. So all these are being included in the definition of supply. Then now coming to the essential characteristics of supply. The first one is supply of goods or services. That is all these other things: sale, transfer, barter system, license, rental, lease, disposal. All this comes under the supply of goods or services. The next, they say supply should be made for a consideration. Consideration is for either maybe money or without money also, but there should be something in return you should receive. The worth which you are transferring, the same worth, equal worth is supposed to be received. So with or without money supposed to be received, then only that kind of a transaction we call it as a supply under the GST Act. Next, whatever the supply you are making, that supply should be for the purpose of business. See, I am like sugar, if you take into the account, sugar which was purchased, I have purchased the sugar, but I am not doing any business taking the sugar as a base. But what I'll do, I'll use it for my consumption, then it cannot become under the supply. But a bakery person, he is purchasing the sugar. What he's doing is utilizing this product in making either a cake or a biscuit or any other the product, and he's again selling the product. So he is using the item for the sake of business. So that's the reason why that we can be included. That can come under the GST Act. The next, supply should be made by a taxable person. Taxable person means the person who come under the purview of GST and is taking up the supply which are taxable supply. So it should be a taxable person, taxable supply, and a taxable territory. That means the territories which are come under the taxable region, then it should be taken care of, and accordingly these are the essentials of essential characteristics of supply. Now coming to the zero rated supply. Now under the zero rated supply, there are certain goods which are basic needs of a human being, like milk, eggs, curd, unpacked food grains. These are the goods which basically required by every human being. This comes under a zero rated supply. So you can take the Vijaya dairy or any dairy where milk is being supplied. Okay, even the eggs, etc., will be supplied. Curd, unpacked food grains are also being supplied. Those things comes under a zero rated supply of goods. Now, health services, educational services comes under the zero rated supply of services, because these are the basic needs which need to be fulfilled. So that's the reason why these comes under zero rated supply. Now, exempt supply is the supply, whatever the supplies which doesn't have a taxable component on it, those comes under your exempt supply. Now coming to the mixed supply. Mixed supply should satisfy with two conditions. The first condition, they say, it should not constitute a composite supply. That is the first condition need to satisfy under the mixed supply. The second, they say, it should deal with two or more individual suppliers, and it should be independent supply. It need not be a dependent supply. See, like a car, if you take into the account, petrol supply and automobile supply or need to be taken care of. In such a case, both should be independent, because both are available in the market. Anyone can, whatever the service they want, they can utilize that service. So independently, if you can able to provide such kind of a service, that comes a mixed supply. But it should not be dependent one or the other. In such case, it cannot be called as a mixed supply. Now coming to the composite supply. Now, works contract. Example, if we take into the account works contract. The works contract, that means the labor supplied and services are also rendered. Two things are being taking place, and one is dependent on the other. Without a labor, service cannot be taken into the account. Labor is required, services are also required. So one is dependent on other. And so any transaction relating to works contract, that comes under your composite supply. Now, the hotel and the restaurant. Hotel and restaurant, food is prepared. That means the services, the labor services are required for the preparation of the food, as well as it has to serve to the customer. So there are two things, preparation as well as serving. So two things which are being taken into the account. So hotel, restaurant, etc. comes under your composite supply. So the composite supply is mixed supply is not the composite supply. So other than whatever is stated in composite supply, it comes under the mixed supply, and whatever the composite supply is, two services, one is dependent on other. Those kind of services comes under your composite supply. Now coming to the inward supply, the inward supply is receipt of goods. Inward, you are getting into your organization the goods, services, or both. So receipt, you are receiving the goods, you're the recipient of the services, or both. So here they say every registered taxable person. So inward supply, you are purchasing the goods from the registered taxable person. And a non-resident, non-resident means he may not resided here. He may be elsewhere, but he is not a resident of the state or a resident of the country. So automatically he is not resident but registered here. So he becomes a non-resident taxable person. So registered taxable person and non-resident taxable person may be dealing with such kind of goods. Okay. And the next is details of inward supplies. So inward supplies, what all we are receiving, those details description need to be stated based on, like let us say we are paying the tax on a reverse charge basis also, or under IGST, or a credit and a debit note may be received, and all these are supposed to be received after 10th, but on or before 15th day of the month succeeding where the tax period supposed to be payable. Like let us say this is we are in January. By 15th January, I should receive all this so that in the month of February, I can pay the tax. So you see to it that the recipient will be for this month. The succeeding month, I will be able to pay the tax relating to that. So that's the reason why these are the details supposed to be mentioned in inward supply. The next coming to the details of supplies modified, deleted, or included by the recipient. Now, sometimes it so happens we include something and there is a need that it has to be changed. So the change of the details, or we would like to, like a return has taken place, a rejected may be taken place, or something has been made when a supply has been taken into the account relating to the inward, those details are also need to be mentioned. And there could be an error, there could be an omission, which should be rectified. All those details supposed to be mentioned, that comes under inward supply. Now, the outward supply. Outward supply, so whatever the services or the goods which are supplied outward means it is going out. We are doing that. We are providing a service. We are providing the goods to any other person. That person, what he is doing, he is purchasing from us for the sake of his business. So for the course of business or furtherance of the business, whatever may be the supply was made, that called as outward supply. And like let us say the goods. Now we have the goods or the services we may be using for our sake. That means a personal purposes. The business goods used for personal purpose. In accountancy, we will call it as a drawings. So like that in GST, whatever may be the quantum of goods or the services which are used for the sake of personal purposes does not come under your outward supply. So that need not be taken care of for the calculation. Now important points to be remembered under the outward supply. Under the important points, they say, first of all, aggregate turnover. Now we have to compute aggregate turnover. Aggregate is nothing but total turnover relating to one financial year. So when we take this total turnover to be computed, so in this, the supplies qualifying as outward supplies need to be included. Next, we may be sending the goods for job work. Now, Bata, that is a good example. Now, Bata people, they are not doing the manufacture, just they are giving their brand name. So what they are doing, the raw materials will be supplied to some other job holder on contract basis. The job is being done. So they will take the job work will be taken. So they will send the material, see to it that output he has to submit to the company, so that the company will put their brand name and sell it in the market. So sending the goods for job work outside the state, it may be outside the state or within the state, and by composition supplier would not be violated. So composite supplier also, composition supplier means, as I told you, he may be a works contract or a hotel, or like let us say the job worker. All this comes under a composite supply. So all this comes under here. This also need to be added for your aggregate turnover. The next, details of supplies on which the tax is payable. That details also need to be mentioned. Then supplies, like whatever the supplies need to declare in the return. For outward supplies, you have to write, you have to mention under GST, return 1. All these, whatever the transactions which are being taking place, all those transactions supposed to be mentioned in the return 1 under the GST. So all this comes under your outward supply, inward supply. The next, levy of GST. Levy of GST, it is nothing but an event. Any event, either supplying the goods or supplying the services or both. An event has taken place. Whenever an event has taken place, then automatically there is a need that we are supposed to pay the GST. So we will come under the purview of GST. So definitely all those persons, all those suppliers who are coming under the purview of GST, they are supposed to pay the tax. So that's the reason why levy of GST is nothing but, we will always say, it is an event which has taken place for the levying of GST. Now coming to the next topic. Do you have any doubts? Shall I continue the next topic? Okay. Now coming to the registration. Now, yes.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
కొంచెం స్లోగా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తారా మ్యామ్?
Okay.
I am preparing my running notes, madam. Some points are missing.
Okay, but are you able to follow?
Yes, ma'am, I am following.
Okay, right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Right. Now, shall I start the next topic as registration?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now, the next is registration. Now, whoever comes under the purview of GST, they are supposed to be registered under the GST Act. So, there is a compulsion and a voluntary registration also. Who are the people who come under the compulsorily registered? Like Amazon. Amazon is doing the business online. See, there they will never take the turnover into the account. Turnover limit, a threshold limit will not be considered there, because he's doing the business online. It comes under e-commerce portal. So automatically he has to register compulsorily under the GST Act. That is Flipkart, Amazon, Zomato, all these, because they are providing the services online. So that's the reason why they are supposed to compulsorily register under GST Act. Now, other than this, people has a voluntarily, like usually what happens is people earlier, because GST was implemented from 2017 onwards. Previously, we used to have VAT, AP, Sales Tax Act, etc. Probably people are doing the business from that time onwards, already registered. So they have a voluntarily whether they can register, but they come under the GST purview. But they have voluntarily can be registered. But here one more thing supposed to be taken into the account is the turnover limit, the threshold limit. Less than 20 lakhs people need not be registered. For them, voluntarily, they maybe may not be, can be registered. But over and above 20 lakhs, supposed to be registered. Compulsorily, they have to register. There, the threshold limit of turnover has been stated. Now, coming to the other specified category states which we have, like Jammu and Kashmir, Meghalaya, Mizoram, such kind of states where the threshold limit turnover is less than 20 lakhs, that is 10 lakhs. So below 10 lakhs need not be registered or voluntarily can be registered. Over and above 10 lakhs turnover, if they have, then they are supposed to register compulsorily. So that's the reason why these are the things need to be taken into the account. The next, what is the need for registration under the GST law? Here they have given you a point to be called as a legal recognition. Now, legal recognition is, that means he is a supplier who's supplying the goods or a service or a both, has a legal recognition. He has an existence under the law. That's the reason why he should have to register under the GST. The next, coming to the, see, you have registered. Person who has registered only have an authorization to collect the tax. The person who is not registered doesn't have an authority to collect the tax on behalf of the government. So that's the reason why here authorization of collection of tax is possible if you have registered under the GST Act. The next, input tax credit can be availed only for registered supplier. Unregistered supplier, you cannot claim that benefit. The benefit which is there under the law can be able to used or can be availed by those people who has a legal existence. So it's a reason why they can have an opportunity to avail input tax credit. The next, they say the trust of the customer. Always remember, usually when we go to a bank, the private sector bank and the public sector bank, you would like to deposit at 20 lakhs in a private sector bank or in a public sector bank. If you take my opinion, I'll go only to the SBI or any other public sector banks, because I want a surety, a security relating to the money which has been deposited. So definitely I'll go to a branded product. Branded products automatically, like Bata is a branded. So I have a confidence, I have a trust that a customer or a company which is following that brand. So automatically what happens, the brand will increases your trust among the customer. In the same manner, if you are registered under the GST, that means people have a trust on you, because you can be you are, whatever you're selling can be known or can be traced out. That's the reason why a trust is required, which need to be developed. And the next will be the smooth flow of tax from customer to the government. See, always see to it that the transactions which are being taking place, that should be very smooth flow of tax that need to be taken care of. So all these are the reasons where we need to register under the GST law. Now, the process of registration, if we take into the account. Now, when we take the process, that is nothing but a procedure to be adopted for registration. First, the business should have a legal name. So every business need to have a name. That name should be taken into the account. The PAN, because he has to be registered under the Income Tax Act, so that the PAN number is allotted, and a mobile number Nowadays, mobile, without a mobile, nothing can happen. The mobile number is also must. He should have an email address. He should be need to state his details relating to the state, and whether he's living in a particular state or union territory. All those details supposed to be mentioned in Part A of Form GST registration 01 on Common Portal. So if all the details provided in the Common Portal appears to be the correct information, a verification of these numbers or the reference numbers will be generated, and the applicant shall submit a Part B, which is duly signed with a document. He has to send the documents also along with the application form of Part A and Part B of registration under GST form 01 in the Common Portal. He has to submit. Now, within the registration approval can be given within 3 working days from the date of submission. So as soon as you submitted, within 3 working days, you will be able to get a communication whether you are being registered or not. Now, here a single registration will be granted from one state to union territory. It can be a union territory, it can be a state, but a single registration is enough. If a person having a business across the different states, now you take the Reliance has a business across the states. So different states. So Reliance can be seen in Maharashtra, Reliance can be seen in Telangana, Reliance can be seen in Andhra Pradesh. So in such cases, multiple registrations are granted for them. So they are supposed to take the multiple registration in Telangana, in Andhra, in Maharashtra. So here it is a single state means only the business was taken place only in Telangana, then you will take the registration only in Telangana. But you may be providing a multiple places, then in such cases, your registrations are also will be taken place in multiple states. So a multiple business verticals also need to be taken into the account. The next, the special economic zone. So special economic zone, they automatically they have to make a separate application for registration as a business vertical distant from its other units located outside the special economic zone. So your business, whatever you have, you may have 2 different types of business. One is comes under your special economic zone, one does not come under that. Then in such a case, you need to have a separate registration. The next, coming to the time limit for the application is within 30 days. So you have to see to it that within 30 days, you are supposed to register yourself. Now, there is a one thing which need to be taken care is casual taxable person. Earlier, we used to call it as a casual trader. Now, we are calling now as a casual taxable person. Who can be called as a casual taxable person? Now, you can take those the crackers which are being sold at the time of Diwali, or Rakhi is being sold at the time of the Rakhi Purnami, right? So the Ganesh ideals will be sold before the festival. Like there are certain goods which are being sold exclusively on certain occasions. Those persons are to be called as a casual taxable person. Earlier in the Sales Tax Act, we used to call them as casual traders. So the persons other than casual taxable person or a non-resident taxable person, these are the persons what they have to obtain the registration at least 5 days prior to the commencement of their business. So other than these people are supposed to, they have a time limit within 30 days, whereas the casual traders or the casual taxable person and the non-taxable person, they have to register themselves before, that is at least 5 days prior to the commencement. Am I okay? Or I'm too fast?
Okay, ma'am.
Right. So the next here, coming to the permanent account number, here the person who is liable to take a registration, he has to obtain a voluntary registration. The voluntary registration shall be in the permanent account number. So he will be allotted a permanent account number. The next, here the person required to deduct a tax in lieu of a permanent account number, a tax deduction, a collection account number, or a TAN number. These are the need to be there with a registered person. Then only he'll get an opportunity to deduct the tax. If not, he cannot do so. Then coming to the next is persons liable for registration. So who are the persons who are liable for registration? Here, first thing is a supplier shall be liable to registered under the Act. He may be supplying the taxable supply of goods or services or both. So all these supposed to be added in his aggregate turnover, as I told you, which does not exceed rupees of 20 lakhs. Over and above, see, automatically, compulsorily, they have to register, right? Then threshold limit was being stated, as I told you, 20 lakhs and 10 lakhs in case of Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Jammu, Kashmir, Manipuri, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim, Tripura, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand. So these are the states where the taxable person should have a limit. The threshold limit should be 10 lakhs. As you know that within 30 days from the date of their commencement of the business, they are supposed to be registered. Okay, the casual trader, non-resident, as I told you, 5 days prior to the commencement of their business, they are supposed to be registered. The next is relating to the persons not liable for registration. So who doesn't come under the purview of GST Act. That we need to take into the account. An agriculturist. Agriculturist, extent supply of produce out of his cultivation, he does not come under the purview of GST. So he need not register under GST. Agriculture person. The next, any person who has engaged the business of supplying goods or service or both, which are exempted from the tax. So the such kind of a goods which are exempted from the tax purview, that goods if person is dealing, he need not be registered. So that is a person not liable for registration. And even the government also, from time to time, it will be giving a notification stating that these are the sellers or dealers or suppliers who need not apply for registration. So unless the government has not stated, so the persons cannot be liable for registration. Now coming to the deemed registration. The deemed registration. Deemed means you're assuming that the person's supposed to register. So that's the reason why the deemed registration here, they say the supplier under one act, he shall be deemed that he has to be registered. Earlier we used to have excise, now CST, APGST. Like we have sales tax, state sales tax and central sales tax. When we have these two acts, in any one if you have registered, automatically you need not register in the other one. So automatically he is deemed registered only. Like that, registered person might have taken, like under income tax, he has registered, like income from business or a profession. Some person was registered under the Income Tax Act. Then automatically he need not be registered under the GST, but exclusively under GST has to register. He says more than one act need not be registered. That is what he says. The next here he says that now application for registration has been rejected under the state. See, you have applied and the state government has rejected your application. In such a case, you are deemed to be registered or union territory. So those people comes under. Next. Now, the proper officer, when we approach the authorities, a proper officer is a person who is authorized to deal all such things. The proper officer fails to take an action in 3 working days from the date of submission. See, I have sent my application, submitted my application on common portal. It is a proper officer who has to scrutinize, who has to check, who has to verify the details. Once he has done everything, then he has to communicate again to me saying that whether my registration is accepted or not. If within 3 working days, if it is not accepted or not given any kind of a communication, in such a case, I will be deemed to be registered. So within 3 working days from the date of submission, the proper officer fails to take any action, then it is being approved as a deemed registration. If a proper officer is satisfied, he has to give a clarification. He has to give the communication. He has not satisfied with the details which are been submitted, again he has to give the information stating that these are the points for which a clarification was required. Then unless until that is not cleared, your registration cannot be deemed or your registration cannot be registered. So that's the reason why always see to it that the applicant within 7 working days on the receipt of such clarifications, then it can be appear to be a deemed registration. So if no reply was furnished, then applicant can treat that is no notice was issued, nor proper officer has not asked for any clarifications as such. That means you are registered. So you can claim that you are a registered dealer. Now coming to the cancellation of registration. Now the GST, like whenever they have accepted a registration, they also have a power to cancel the registration. So there could be some reasons for which the cancellation has been taken into the account. The first one is a registered person under any of the existing laws who is not liable to be registered under GST Act. See, whether he is liable, whether he comes under the jurisdiction of GST, whether he is taking such kind of taxable services or supply which comes under the purview of GST, then only he has to register. When he doesn't come under that, then his registration can be cancelled. The next, business is discontinued or business is transferred. Like Satyam was transferred, disposed. So Satyam was removed and now it is Mahindra Tech. So in such cases, it is transferred. In such case, you have to, Satyam need to be cancelled, Mahindra Tech need to be registered. So that's the reason why they need to see to it that it is to be transferred. Next, amalgamation. Now you take the banks. Now they have amalgamated 2 or 3 banks amalgamated into one bank. So in such a case, now all the banks comes under one purview. So automatically, if they are doing any business relating to the kind of supply or transactions, then they come under the registration. Or if not, what all the earlier they had, all those supposed to be cancelled. The next, change of constitution. Now partnership is changed into company or a company is changed into partnership. That is a constitution which has been changed. Whenever it is changed, then earlier whatever you had as a registration supposed to be cancelled, and the new one which has been changed, that you have to obtain. So that's the reason why old one need to be cancelled, new one need to be taken as a registration. The next, taxable person who has voluntarily taken a registration and no longer liable to be registered. So in such case, that can be cancelled. The next, they say the person paying the tax under the composition levy has not furnished the returns for 3 consecutive tax periods. So first thing is he has to pay every year the taxes. If he's not furnishing the return, he's not paying the tax for 3 consecutive periods. That means 3 continuous years. If he's not doing so, then his registration can be cancelled. Then the next, composition levy has not furnished return for a continuous period of 6 months. See, every month or for quarterly or half yearly, they are supposed to file a return. And if they are not doing so, for a period of 6 months, if they are not doing, then automatically their registration can be cancelled. Then the next, like they have taken the registration, but the business has not started, business at all not commenced within 6 months from the date of registration. Today we have taken the registration. That means we are in the month of January. That means in the month of July, within this July, we are supposed to start our business. If we are not doing so, then automatically our registration get cancelled. And registration can be cancelled by means of fraud, willful misstatement, or a suppression of the facts. So any wrong information, wrong dealings which are being made, in such cases, the registration can be cancelled. Now, coming to the next topic as revocation of registration. The revocation of registration. So whenever the registration has been cancelled by the proper officer, so usually the superintendent of central tax, he will be made as the proper officer on his own motion. That means he himself felt that it is not required and it is being cancelled. So then what happens is, on the basis of the application of the registered person whose registration has been cancelled, can submit an application for revocation of cancellation. Revocation is whatever the cancellation has been taken place, that nullified, that should be nullified. So cancellation should be nullified. His registration need to be considered. So what happens is, when order has been passed from the authorities to the person, then the person feel that whatever the order was passed is not based on a sufficient reason, then he can approach the authorities and see to it that he can get back his registration. So that is the reason why the cancellation order can be cancelled and he can get the registration can be continued. So that can be taken care in the form GST REG 21. Form number 21 is used to revoke the cancellation of registration. The next registration which is cancelled for the failure of the furnishing returns. See, returns are not filed properly in time. In such cases, the registration might be cancelled. Probably the person may not be available in India. He might have gone somewhere, like Corona is a situation, because of a pandemic situation. Wherever the people have gone, they are supposed to be held up there. They could not able to come back. In such cases, any cancellation has taken place, then it can be revoked. So returns has not filed because the things are not done because of a pandemic situation. A situation has, environment has made him to not to do such things can be happen, or he might have gone elsewhere and he has instructed some of his agent or a principal or whoever may be, or an employee, to do such things and he has forgot to do. In such cases also, a cancellation might have taken place. So after coming back, he has to put forth all the things to them, and whatever the penalty or the interest or the late fee which he's supposed to pay and not paid in time, so all that he has to, those dues are supposed to be cleared, and then so that he can get back his registration. In the same manner, like let us say, what are the reasons which have been stated? So within 30 days from the date of receipt of application which has been communicated, that he can able to get back his revocation of cancellation. And if over and above 30 days, then assume that because you have applied within 30 days, the communication is supposed to be received. If that is not received, that means your cancellation has been revoked and your registration has continued. So that need to be considered. So proper officer or an assistant or a deputy commissioner of the central tax officers, if they have not satisfied whatever the issue, a notice which is being given a show cause. That means usually they have given a show cause to the the person to revoke the registration. Show a cause why we cannot reject your application or your registration. That can be given by the authorities to the applicant, and the applicant has to give the time to explain why his registration should not be cancelled. So if whatever the reason was stated and that reason was not satisfactory for a proper officer, so in such cases his registration can be cancelled. If the answer is okay, then it can be revoked. Okay, like that. The clarifications also will be given in the form 24. So in the form 23, a show cause notice can be issued. Form 24, where the recipient of information or a clarification of a person stating why his registration should be revoked. So that need to be taken into the account. So these are the points supposed to be discussed under the revocation of registration. I think the rest. Any doubts? Hello? Any
Yes,
doubts?
No, ma'am.
Are you following?
Yes, madam, I'm following, but I don't have a study material.
Okay.
Whatever the topics are there also, we don't know, madam. Actually, whatever you are explaining, I am taking as a running notes. I
Okay.
have to go through it once.
I think yesterday we were discussed regarding the journey of GST, like how the GST has started.
Yes, ma'am.
The GST, how it has started, and it is also relating to the introduction of GST.
Yes.
Then what all I have discussed relating, like the government, whether the taxes is it important for the government? Through the taxes only, what purposes the taxes are being implemented in India, like funding of public infrastructure, development and welfare projects, defense expenditure, so all these scientific research, public insurance, so the salaries of state and central government employees. For all these purposes, taxes are the must for the government. So that's the reason why the taxes are being implemented. So, and we were discussing relating to the constitution, the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha, and what are the laws, everything which are being prepared need to be approved by both the houses of parliament.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So the I think I have okay. These are the things. That is the first chapter, and the second chapter relating to the block 1, the unit 1 and unit 2 were covered in the yesterday's class, Nana.
Okay,
And
ma'am.
today's class we have taken unit 3 and unit 4. In the unit 3, it is relating to the dual model of GST, advantages of dual model of GST, the concept of supply, the zero rated supply, exempt supply,
Okay.
mixed and composite supply, inward outward supply, levy of GST. This is the unit 3 under the block 2. And
Okay.
unit 4 is relating to the registration, introduction, process of registration, compulsory registration, who is liable for registration, exemption from registration, GST unique identity number. That is, once you have registered, they will allot you a number called the unique identity number.
Okay.
Then deemed registration, cancellation, revocation, all these comes under your unit 2. That is unit 4 under
Unit
block 2.
Okay, ma'am.
So there are 12 units are there. Out of 12 units, 6 classes. So I'm covering 2 units in each class.
Okay, ma'am.
Is it okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Any other doubts?
This third unit is from Supplier, ma'am.
Third unit, I think you have a time of supply, place of supply.
Yes, ma'am. Supply topic is from
Levy
third
of-
unit.
Yeah. Levy of GST.
Yes, ma'am.
I think in the next class we will discuss that.
Okay.
Nana, if you have your number, I can share your this whatever the syllabus which I have. That
Yes,
syllabus I can send it to you. If my number is, I think it displaying here.
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Or shall I tell you my number so that if at all you have any the doubts, you can talk to me straight away.
Yes, ma'am. You give your number, no, ma'am.
Yeah, 99
Yes, ma'am.
9949
Yes, ma'am.
82 0008.
82 0.
Shall I repeat?
9949820008.
9949820008.
Okay, ma'am.
My name is Karunashree, working in Women's College, Koti.
Okay, ma'am.
So if at all you have any doubts relating to the subject, you can straight away you can contact me through phone,
Okay, ma'am.
or even you can send the WhatsApp messages so that you can get the clarification.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
And
ma'am.
my intention is you need to follow this concept. This is the subject is very easy. Only the thing is you need to follow.
Okay,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So 4 units we have completed till now. Out
Yes,
of these
ma'am.
4 units, whatever the doubts you have, you can contact me.
Okay, ma'am.
And
At what time you will be?
Yes, Nana.
At what time you will be free, ma'am?
Mostly because we will be in the college, no.
Yes.
Usually 10 to 3 we will be busy in the college itself.
Okay.
3 to 5 you can contact me.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. 3 to 5.
And if you have any doubts relating to the 4 units which we have covered till now, you can ask me.
Okay.
The other things which we have not yet
Okay, ma'am.
covered, right?
Actually, we don't have study material, madam. In the university, they have not yet issued the materials.
Okay,
We
okay.
have the soft copy PDF in form of PDF.
PDF is there, ma'am.
PDF is there?
Yes, ma'am. PDF is there.
So we are preparing from that PDF, madam.
Acha.
Now I have prepared some running notes while you
Okay.
are explaining.
No,
I have
it is
to go through
audible.
my-
You are able to hear. You are able to hear. You are able to understand.
Everything is clear, madam.
Okay.
You are audible and it is understandable also, ma'am, subject.
Okay, right.
And we also should have the material, no, ma'am, for
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Probably the university also may give you an day or two because there are some. See, university means automatically it has so many things to do, right?
Yes, ma'am.
It is not only a single work will be
Yes,
will be
ma'am.
doing, right? So that's the reason why most likely you may get your material also.
Okay.
If not, Nana, if you are affordable to purchase outside, books are available. You can purchase on GST.
Okay.
Books are available. The theory
The
and
syllabus
practice
is
of
same,
GST.
madam.
Amma?
Syllabus is same, ma'am, but we are studying it open, no, ma'am, open degree.
Yeah, it's true. But Nana, the topic will be the same. The syllabus you have to take it from your university, and books are also available outside, so that which taking the topic you can cover it from anywhere, no?
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
So the books are available outside. If you are affordable to purchase, I think you can go for it, so that you can have the books, or you can study your material as well as this. you will have a complete knowledge, a perfection in the subject you will be able to get when you read more than one textbook.
Yes, ma'am.
So please, as a degree holders, you are supposed to read more than one textbook.
Okay.
Then only you'll get a perfection.
Okay, ma'am.
If you stick on to only one material, your knowledge is limited.
Yes, ma'am.
So bachelor of degree you'll get only when you read more than one textbook.
Yes.
This is from my side.
Yes,
My
ma'am. In
teachers
this
told me like that.
In this
Yes, ma'am?
semester, 3 subjects are very tough, madam. This income taxes and another one is income tax, indirect tax, cost accounting. These 3 subjects are from this commerce subject.
Okay.
They are little bit tough, ma'am, in this semester.
Nana, let me tell you, all the 3 subjects are very interesting subjects and very easy subject. Only the thing is, you need to have the how to prepare, how to read. That you need to know. Then it is easy.
Okay.
Subjects are very easy. Only the orientation which you require, that is lacking probably. The orientation, if you have, subjects are damn easy. You can score. These are the scoring subjects.
Okay.
Is it
ma'am.
okay, Nana?
Yes,
Is it
ma'am.
fine? Are you following? Then I think today the class is over. We will be meeting on 28th.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And meanwhile, whatever the information, Nana, you can as well browse in the net also. You'll get the information.
Okay, ma'am.
Take the syllabus, browse it in the internet. You will get internet also the information so that you can read, you can understand. If you have any doubts, you can discuss with me.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Right, Nana? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not taking any photo as such. Should I? Right, thank you. I'm leaving now.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.